What's up, guys? This is Payne with the Card Fight Vanguard Booster Pack Club.
You disgust me.
Something like that. Even though I'm the one who made the name, I can't ever get it right. So we're here today with a pretty cool Vanguard deck. I built this years ago. How long ago did you ask? 2005. We're playing E-Heroes. So the extra deck is one of each Omni hero. They're pretty good. Oh, that's not an Omni hero. Then we got a bunch of masked heroes, some Vision heroes, and Stratos. All right, cool. Cool. Pretty sweet deck, am I right? All right, just kidding. That's enough of that. That was a stupid joke. It was either going to be that or a Royal Paladin joke, but it's not. So, Excel Narukami, it's my favorite deck. I started with this deck back when set 13, pre-release for set 13, Catastrophic Outbreak. So it was a good time.
You kind of forced into the deck, weren't you?
What? Yeah, I was forced into the deck. I wanted to make Royal Paladin, but no, we won't help you if you make Royal Paladin. We'll help you if you make Narukami, though. That was back when I was a poor 9th grader, so I wasn't able to get a job, so I didn't have money. But now I do have money, and I can make whatever deck I want whenever. So let's start. Let's go into the grade 3s. 4 Teutonix Drill Dragon. This is the beater, the win card. Win condition, as some people like to say. So when it attacks, you counterblast one, or when it attacks a Vanguard, I guess I should specify. You counterblast one, bind one of their rear guards. Excuse me. Discard cards to your hand equal to the number of rear guards they have. And at the end of the battle, it restands, -1 drive, +5 power. Great powerhouse. I absolutely love restanders, so I'm very glad that this guy is a restander. You play 4 because it's going to be kind of hard. I guess not really hard to win without him, but it's going to be more of an uphill battle. That is for sure. Next we played 3 Teutonix Stinger Dragon, Baby Break Ride. New player's first break ride. So, grade 3, Excel, Twin Drive. Vanguard or rear guard, when placed, you counterblast one, bind one of your opponent's front row rear guards, gets +5. And then when it's rode upon, you can call it to rear guard, and your Vanguard gets 10k. So that's why it's a break ride. It's essentially you counterblast one, bind something, it gets 5k, and your Vanguard gets 10k when rode on. So, very cool. Finally, for grade 3s, we got 2 Dragonic Kaiser Vermilions. I love Vermilion. He's my sleeves. But, so I wanted to incorporate him in some way, and luckily, most decks do play him. And I played him as a 2 for Excel matchups, even though, ironically enough, today at tournament I played 2 Narukami decks and only rode them once because I didn't have anything else to ride.
Just play 4, ballin'.
Yeah, I could just play 4. So his skill is Counterblast 2, he gets 5k and a crit, and if your opponent has 2 or more rear guards, then instead of a crit, it attacks their whole front row, so pretty good against Great Nature, even though they'll just get it right back next turn.
You should play Vermilion and the break ride, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
That's all you need. That's not good.
Grade 2s, 4 Recklessness Dragon. One place counterblast 1, choose an opponent's rear guard in the front row and bind it. When it attacks, if your opponent has 1 or less rear guard, it gets 3k. So it's a pretty consistent 12k hitter. And of course, binding for such a cheap cost is amazing. I love this card. It's the new, I don't know, what was something that did that back in the day?
The 12k attack for Eradicator?
Yeah, Spark Rain. 4 Dragonic Death Scythe. Would be OR if they weren't $35 each. Yeah. When placed, Soul Blast 2. Choose a rear guard in your opponent's front row, bind it, and it gets 3k until end of turn. During the battle that it attacked a Vanguard, if the row in front of it is empty, it gets 5k. So if you have it on the Excel circle, it'll always be 24k. Unless your opponent has one in front of it, then it has to be empty. Strong beater, get rid of her. 3 Thunderstorm Dragoon. During your turn, if your opponent's front row has 1 or less rear guards, it becomes 14k. It's a beat stick. That's why we play it. Grade 1s. 4 Rising Ultra Chicken Winged Dragon of Ra. So, its abilities from the drop zone. When your opponent's rear guard is bound, you can call it, and it gets +3. So this is a free +1, literal free, no cost. Just needs to be in your drop zone, guard with it early, guard with it late, whatever. call over attack units already. 4 Demolition Dragon. This guy is an Eradicator for who knows why. So, if your opponent has... Huh?
So weird. No.
What did you say? If your opponent has no rear guards in their front row, it gets 3k. Continuous, your turn and their turn. So it'll always be 11k. And when the attack hits a Vanguard, while it's on Vanguard circle, you can draw a card. So it's another free +1 if you go second. Really cool. I like that
How many
stuff.
times did you go second and get to ride that?
I don't know, like once.
I know, I heard you was like, I never get to go first. I always have the ideal ride. Or second, I never get to go second. I have the ideal ride.
Yeah, I know, it's stupid. 3 Lizard Soldier Ricky. This card's pretty good. I never used his ability to swap the front and back row. I only ever used it to get the +3. But it's, when placed, you Soul Blast 1, and you swap your opponent's front and back rows. Yeah. You swap the front and back rows, and it gets +3. So it helps access your bind abilities. And lastly is 2 Lightning of Hope Helena. When your opponent's rear guard is bound to an effect, once per turn, Soul Blast 1 and Counter Charge 1. Well, you have to have no face-up cards in your damage zone. This actually came in handy more than I thought it would, so I'm very, very happy with that. Now for the weird part of the deck, the triggers. So I play 5 crit. I feel this is the perfect amount of pressure. You could play more crit if you want, but personally I like how my deck is built, so I'm happy with the 5 crit. This came in handy a lot. I never had a moment where I felt like I wasn't hitting crits when I needed them, because I generally drove check them probably once, twice a game or so. I guess that sounds pretty bad, but for this lineup, I do consider that pretty good. That's about half. So we play 5 draws. This deck generally gets a pretty good amount of advantage, but it's better. I like getting more advantage, and the extra draw came in handy a lot more than I thought it would. I hate draw triggers to absolute death, thanks to a couple weeks ago, but sadly they're needed in the game, so that's why we play 5.
Power draw, baby.
Yeah. Finally, we play 2 front triggers. Yeah, this is the weird part. I don't think Narukami decks really need to play front triggers. I think crits are overall better. But I had a game against my good friend Trey where I drove check both of these in one turn, and thankfully it helped me win the game. But they're generally used. I damage checked them more than I drove checked them, so they're a really good defense. Finally, 4 heal trigger, one of them being shiny. And these are cool. Good old heal triggers, good old eradicators.
We thought.
Whatever. Starter, Smart Kid Dragoon. Should be Naoki, but it isn't. Rest in peace. So that's the video. Thank you, like, subscribe, whatever.